Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We're on episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Bungo Stray Dogs Wan, and oh my gosh, the last 3 episodes were hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh, this series has such a fun sense of humor. Bungo Stray Dogs has always had a really kind of fun, little bit dark sense of humor, but I really like that about the show. I'm personally a big fan of dark humor, so I can take a joke that's like, oh, okay, like the whole thing with Atsushi and Akutagawa and Dazai, like all the different scenarios. The one example I always think of is when Akutagawa and Atsushi are on top of the ship of Moby Dick, and then Atsushi hands him the phone. Akutagawa thinks that Dazai is going to talk to him, and he's like, oh, I'm going to talk to my senpai. Notice me, senpai. And then Dazai hangs up on him. It's one of my favorite examples. I felt bad for Akutagawa in that moment, but it's one of my favorite examples of the humor of this show. It's so dark and kind of twisted at times, but I really like it. And this series takes full advantage of it. It's like, oh, okay, we want to be quirky and dark. We can do things with that. So I really liked the first 3 episodes. They were great. I was like, I could not complain about them at all. So that has me really excited to see what all we get into in these next 3 episodes. So as per last reaction video, I'm going to be doing 3 episodes of Bungo Stray Dogs Wan because they're only like 10 or 11 minutes each. So it'll round out about the same time as an episode. But I did want to go ahead and tell you all that I've had a lot of requests on Patreon after post season 3 ending for me to review 2 AMVs. I don't usually react to AMVs on this channel because there's so many, and I would just fall down a rabbit hole and get nothing else accomplished. But there are 2 that I've been told are pretty much the staple Bungo Stray Dogs AMVs. And one, of course, is Glitter and Gold. The other one being Seven Nation Army. And I've actually seen Seven Nation Army thumbnails like in the recommended column out on the side of my YouTube videos. I've seen it as I've been like watching videos on YouTube. I'll see it recommended. I'm like, oh, okay. But I haven't watched it yet because I was afraid of spoilers. So I think that with the last episode of Bungo Stray Dogs Wan that I look at, when I look at episodes 10, 11, and 12, I think in that same video, after I'm done discussing the episodes, then I'll do like a short reaction to both Glitter and Gold and Seven Nation Army. I probably won't react to any more AMVs other than those 2. I'll probably watch the rest on my own time. So if you have any other recommendations when we get to that point, I'll definitely watch them on my own time, but I don't think I'll react to them just because we could be here all day, right? But those 2 I've been told are the most popular, and I'm like, okay, well, they're the most popular. It feels like a rite of passage. I've heard Glitter and Gold is literally, it's like Attack on Titan in 9 minutes. It's a rite of passage. If you are a Bungo Stray Dogs fan, you have to watch it. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. So that's the plan anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty excited, y'all, to dive into these next 3 episodes. This first one's called Akutagawa-kun's Errands. The mafia member who doesn't kill. Oh my god, are we getting Oda? If we're getting Oda in chibi form, I don't know if my heart can take it. And then forming a duo with him. I didn't even think about the concept of Chibi Oda. Oh, y'all know Oda is my jam. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna start the episode because now I'm really hyped. I hadn't looked at the titles until now. I just pulled it up, getting it ready, and I was like, it's okay, we'll get ready. Whew, now I'm hyped. So, with that being said, let's start, shall we? I woke up this morning, I was like, I have my coffee. I'm like, I am ready for some Bungo Stray Dogs Wan, for sure. So, let's do that. All right, we're gonna start this episode here in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, let's go. That was so good. That was so good. Oh my gosh. I loved that so much. These 3 episodes were funnier than the first 3. Especially episodes 4 and 5. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, this show is doing nothing to help me not be persuaded that it's like Chuya and Dazai, Atsushi and Akutagawa, and Mori and Fukuzawa. Like the grand flagships. Like this show is doing nothing to dissuade me from that agenda. I had to take notes because there's a lot that happens in these episodes. Oh my gosh. For some reason, when they animate Akutagawa's face and he has the big black eyes and it looks like big bug eyes, there's just something innately hilarious with how that looks. And I don't know if it's just like, he just looks so innocent in that moment and just dumb. There's just something hilarious about it. And every time I see them animate him like that, it's just funny. So Akutagawa running errands. God, Dazai's such a troll. I like that this series really plays up Dazai's trolling ability. Miyano Mamoru, he's one of my favorite voice actors because, and I know he's really popular, but the thing about Mamoru is he has so much fun with his roles, and the way that he does inflection and the way that he says things, like even in the series itself, he's like, Kunikita, like the way that he says things is so funny. And he just has such like a natural, innate sense of humor. Like he just gets it, that Mamoru has so much fun with this role. I absolutely love it. And I love hearing, you can hear Jean from Attack on Titan in Chuya. You can hear Jean in Chuya, and it's great. You can hear Reiner in Kunikita, and it's great. I wish Mamoru was an actor in Attack on Titan. I don't think so. I'm halfway through season 3, so maybe Mamoru is a voice actor in Attack on Titan. I don't think so, though. Attack on Titan's way too serious for Mamoru. way too serious of a show for him to be in it. But Mamoru has a lot of fun with Dazai, and oh my god. So I want to say, we talked about this, I know, on Patreon with episode 12, talking about this, and as I'm recording this, I'm recording a little bit ahead, so episode 12 is about to air on YouTube, so you guys will probably comment about this as well. But Dazai is kind of Natsumi 2.0. Kind of, right? It seems like Dazai is trying to become Natsumi 2.0, where Natsumi is involved in all the different facets of Yokohama. He's involved in the port mafia, in the agency, in the special ops. And Dazai kind of filters the same way. He's got Ango in the special ops, he's got the agency, and he's got the port mafia. So it almost seems like Dazai is trying to become that Natsumi 2.0. So it makes sense that in this series, he's a cat guy. Doesn't like dogs. You know, he doesn't like dogs. He's a cat man. So it's like, okay, makes sense. But him trolling Akutagawa, dude, you and Higuchi have so much in common. Higuchi is such like a notice me senpai with Akutagawa. Akutagawa in this is exactly the same way with Dazai. And Dazai just sending him on a shopping errand. The whole thing with the bidet, I was like, oh my god, of course. And then the funny twist of it all is that Akutagawa was buying things for Atsushi to take back to the agency. Oh my god. I felt like him shopping in episode 4, and then Chuya and Dazai shopping in episode 5. I just want them all to get together with Fitzgerald. I wonder if we'll see a Chibi Fitzgerald. That would be adorable. Chibi Guild? I want to see Chibi Lovecraft. I want to see Chibi Lovecraft. Him and Chibi John Steinbeck. I want to see them. We probably won't get that, but it'd be cute if we did. I'm still holding out on Chibi Oda, though. Don't spoil me. I'm holding out because I was like, if we saw Chibi Rando, we're going to see Chibi Oda. It's just, we haven't done the Dark Age arc yet. We just did 15, kind of. I'm like, what's our spin on the Dark Age arc going to be? Because that's, nobody dies in Chibi series. It's been established. But yeah, so Akutagawa and them shopping, I just want to see them go shopping with Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald showing Akutagawa all the special deals. I feel like that would be, Akutagawa and Fitzgerald as a duo would be interesting. I don't see it because their personalities clash so much, but if they were shopping in this Chibi series, that would be adorable. Akutagawa not killing. That's why I thought it was going to be Oda, because it said the detective, the port mafia member that couldn't kill. And I was like, oh, well, that's Oda, because he doesn't kill, but it's Atsushi. I find it interesting we're drawing parallels now. We've always drawn parallels to Atsushi and Dazai and Atsushi and Chuya, but now we're drawing parallels to Atsushi and Oda, maybe. That's interesting. But the idea that he didn't kill anybody. And Atsushi thinks that Akutagawa is this mean person. No. Akutagawa cares a lot, and he's actually very compassionate. He just doesn't show it, right? He's kind of like, Akutagawa is kind of like the Levi of this series. He's actually really compassionate and doesn't want to kill people, but you know, he's grown a lot to get to this point. But he has such a tsundere, like, hard shell that you wouldn't know it. But I mean, Akutagawa used to just want to kill everything as soon as he saw it. But now, I'm saying the current Akutagawa is like Levi. He seems cold on the outside, but he's warm and snuggly on the inside. Atsushi just needs to break through that hard exterior, right? But I love it. I love that Atsushi coming up with all the scenarios of what he thinks Akutagawa is going to do, and it's like, no, he's not really going to do anything like that. Nah. And then the marshmallow. I want on recording Mamoru saying, I must become a marshmallow, preferably a s'more. Just the the most ridiculous, chaotic things. The show is just chaos, and I think that's why I love it. Is it's just organized chaos, and it's great. But just the idea of Dazai is the grand flagshipper of Okutagawa and Atsushi, and I kind of love it. And then the ED where they chase after Dazai in the river, and it cuts to them at the end in the chibi forms. So good. So good. So then, of course, we get Atsushi and Okutagawa in episode 4, and then episode 5 is just straight up a Dazai Chuya episode, and I love it. Oh my god, the 15 arc with them, of them being boys, just 15-year-old boys and shenanigans. Little Chibi Rando with his earmuffs and them playing up these freezing. I kept thinking it was at a school with a statue of Mori in front of Fukuzawa in front of it. So I was like, Mori's a teacher there. So I wanted to see Chibi Mori and Chibi Fukuzawa together, which maybe we'll get that eventually before episode 12. But so cute. And then them both shopping. And as soon as I didn't get it with the wine, I should have, because yeah, at the end of season 2, Mori has Koyo and Chuya together, and they're drinking the very expensive wine. They're celebrating with that. So it's funny. Chuya has very high-end tastes. He likes very fancy things. And the second little short in episode 5 is all like contrasting how Chuya and Dazai are very, very, very different. They're like polar opposites. Dazai wants like cheap bandages. That's his idea of a good shopping day. Chuya wants expensive hats. He wants fancy wine. He like wants the finer things in life. He's a high maintenance boy. Our boy Chuya is high maintenance. And Dazai is just like the polar opposite. He just wants like tuna in a can and like cheap sake, and he's good. But I love it. I love that they both are talking about how each other's things are tacky. And then Chuya gets back with the hat, and Okutagawa is just like, and he's like, say something about my hat. But then, yeah, Dazai not being a dog person. But then wanting to be, I'm like, show, come on. When he was like, you can be a dog and raise me, I'm like, shut up. But I love the idea that Chuya is a cat man and Chuya is a dog man and Dazai is a cat man. Like, of course, total opposites. And then episode 6, the scary stories. I thought that Kyoka would have the scariest story. I was like, oh, she'll have the scary story because you don't expect a little girl to have it. But then I guess it's a Japanese trope that schoolgirls like scary stories. So, of course, her scary story is getting a paper cut. Kind of connects her and Kunikita together. Kunikita, his idea of terrifying is going home when he's sick. That's hilarious. And then Dazai having to wake up from her nightmare and go back to work. But then, of course, Atsushi's story is legitimately scary. And they're all like, and he's like, oh, that's the story. Atsushi, of course, from the orphanage would have scary stories. Of course he would. But then, yeah, Dazai, the game over, like, it cut straight to the ED. That was great. And then trying to troll poor Kunikita. Anytime in the regular show that Dazai would try to troll Kunikita, it was always really funny. Because it's like, okay, we get it, you know? But that part was really good. And then the damn dance contest. I really wanted, at the end of the dance contest, for Rampo to say, oh, I already won it. I wanted us to not see Rampo dance, but for us to know that he won the dance contest. And maybe he did. Maybe Rampo did win the dance contest. And he's going to give the 10 million yen. It wouldn't surprise me if Rampo won the dance contest and gave the 10 million yen to the president because he's like, the president's his favorite person. But of course, I love that the agency in the dance contest, everybody has their own dance. They're all we talked about this in season 3. They're all very individualized. But then the Port Mafia is like boy band, perfectly in sync, perfect dance moves, like synchronized. It makes sense, right? And of course, Chuya and Okutagawa can dance because of course they can. Whereas Dazai and Atsushi are like, I would definitely be Kyoka with like the upper dance moves. Cannot dance to save my life. But I would definitely be Kyoka in that moment. Oh my God, that's so great. That's so great. Oh, this was wonderful. I loved these episodes so much. These were so good. Yeah, and of course Fukuzawa can dance because he's the president. But I wanted to see him and Mori dance so badly. We've gotten 2 of my ships. We've got Okutagawa and Atsushi in like an episode together, just the 2 of them with supporting ensemble. We've got Chuya and Dazai together in an episode with supporting ensemble. I just need my Mori and Fukuzawa episode of them together, and the grand flagships will be complete. So I'm curious to know if we're going to get Chibi Dark Age. That would be interesting. With Chibi Oda. I need Chibi Oda in my life. Chibi Natsumi maybe, but we've only seen Natsumi like just in the last couple episodes, so maybe not. Chibi Natsumi. And then as far as any other Chibis, I really don't think we've seen anybody else. Chibi Guild. Chibi Guild would be great, but I don't know if we'll get that or not. But yeah, clearly this series was made after season 3 because they reference, it was either made after season 3 or the same time season 3 was being made, because they reference a lot of things from season 3, like the 15 arc and like the pact between Akutagawa and Atsushi for Akutagawa not to kill for the next 6 months. So they clearly reference things that are happening in season 3, and they've referenced season 1 and season 2 as well. So I'm assuming this came out either around the same time as season 3 or at the end of it. Also, I want to note that I just thought of this, that during the dance contest, Rampo puts on the deduction glasses to predict that they're going to win, and then he takes them off. So it's, even though it's not an ability, it's a nice touch that Rampo was using his deduction powers, and then that was when he knew, he's like, you guys will win the weirdest dance prize, like the consolidation prize, but you're not winning the whole thing. But he doesn't tell him that. He's like, oh, you guys are going to win. He just doesn't say what. So I loved these episodes. These were so much fun. I am really curious to know what you all thought of these episodes. So please let me know down below. But yeah, next week we'll do episodes 7, 8, and 9. And then yeah, we'll round out the year with the last 3 episodes of Bungo Stray Dogs Wan, and we'll look at some AMVs. So I'm really sad. I'm really glad to end Bungo Stray Dogs for now. We're going to go on hiatus after Bungo Stray Dogs Wan. I'm really excited. I'll talk more about that when we get to episodes, the next episodes and episodes 10, 11, and 12. But I'm really bittersweet because these have been so funny. When you guys first suggested this series, I was like, maybe I'll watch it. And now I'm really glad that I did, because this is like, after all the craziness of season 3, I'm like, getting to watch this series and seeing how adorable it is. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So yeah, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I'll be back next week with episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Bungo Stray Dogs Wan. Bye.